Hello, what is up guys? EvilDuoStorm here today, back with another Black Desert video. Now 3 years ago, I put out a video on AFK Fishing, which at the time was pretty solid, but now that we're in 2023 moving into 2024, this video is pretty much garbage. Most of the stuff in here is not right, and it's time to get an update. However, since I'm recycling some content right now, I think it's time I recycle some outfits and bring you guys back a blast from the past. So yeah, just quickly before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, to the Black Desert, or you've been watching videos on the channel and still have not subscribed yet, please consider it. Helps to grow my channel, you stay up to date with new content, and we both win, and without further ado, let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with what you can expect from AFK Fishing as far as AFK type income, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not anything amazing. You're looking at about 10 to 15 million silver per hour, depending on your gear and whatnot. And during event periods, maybe you can push that up to like the 20 million an hour mark, especially at like the mid-tiered fishing gear. So we're not talking about something that's going to make you billions of silver every single night type of deal here. It is a nice passive income stream though, so if you are interested in making money while you're asleep or at work and you want to leave your computer on or you leave it on anyway, it could be an opportunity for you to make some extra cash. So to get started, you're going to need a bunch of different gear things as well as setup type things to maximize your income or your actual capabilities of fishing. And first things first, you're going to want to make sure you are in a guild. So a guild specifically that has the skill for fishing down here. Art of Fishing level 3. That is going to give your character a fishing level 3 bonus, and if you go to your player menu here and hover over the fishing skill, you will see that that increases your fishing time, or reduces your fishing time rather, by 40%. Now you can acquire these stats through other things, so if you're a solo player and you don't want to deal with other people, or if you just want to like be a purist or something, there are gear points you can get that'll increase your fishing stat, but being in a guild gets you like 80% of the way to the max level for fishing real fast. Now besides this fishing level, there are two more stats that we're going to want to maximize here for fishing. The first one is going to be your mastery, which is under the life skill menu up here, which is the little fish getting hit head with a pickaxe. This fishing mastery right here is going to increase your chance of getting ancient relic crystals as well as prized catch fish. So you want to get this as high as possible, but you don't really got to focus too much on it because the rate is pretty low. It's not like other life skills that give you crazy bonuses. It's a nice little bonus on top for AFK fishing. And then the third stat we want to look at is going to be auto fishing time reduction. So you can see on this Balanos fishing rod that I have open right here, all the way down at the bottom you'll see item effect, auto fishing reduction time there, minus 25%. These three stats combined with each other ultimately impact how much fishing you do overnight, how much money you make, and just in general, your overall well-being while AFK fishing. So we're going to take a look at some of the gear we're going to want to pick up to start boosting these stats to make our fishing better. First things first is the Balanos fishing rod that I have right here. You can go ahead and put a pre-order in on the central marketplace for a plus 10 one of these. And this is an item that you pretty much absolutely need, so really don't even bother getting started with AFK fishing until you pick up this plus 10 Balanos fishing rod. Now if your region is completely sold out of these like the NA one is currently, you can also craft these yourself at a tool workshop. Needs to be level 3, and the first level 3 that I can think of is over in Heidel, house number 5-3. In house number 5-3 in Heidel, you will see a tool workshop level 3. You can max this sucker out, and then you can craft this item down here of a Balanos fishing rod. Then you can proceed to go ahead and try and enhance it up yourself all the way up to the plus 10 stage. The second item you're going to need can also be crafted at the same exact workshop, and that is going to be a maple float. The maple float increases your chance of getting rare fish while you're fishing, which is just a nice little bonus straight up that you want to pick up and max out to plus 10 as well. As you can see, I have both a Balanos fishing rod and a maple float. The other thing that you might want to consider doing with these pieces of gear is branding them. Periodically, for login rewards or other events and whatnot, we get items that are called item brand stones. These basically make it so that your fishing rod and your float last longer while you're AFK fishing, meaning you can AFK fish for longer overnight. You'll want to use 2 of these on those 2 items if you plan to do a lot of AFK fishing. Before you use these, just make sure it's something you're actually interested in doing. So maybe like try it overnight for a night and see how it pans out before you start investing resources into it. And just for complete closure here, the maple float can also be bought off of the central marketplace, so you don't got to do any crafting if you just put in POs for both of these items. Now the next thing we're going to need is going to be life skill mastery gear, and those are just going to be your typical life skill accessories. If you've done any life skill work before, you probably have a couple of these different accessories, and pretty much every player should have a Floramos ring from doing the one-time questline. Like we mentioned a few minutes ago, your mastery is going to impact your prize catch rate, so the more mastery you can pump on your character, the better. Although again, for fishing, it's not a super big thing, so if you're just like a grinder all the time, you don't need to go too crazy investing in life skill gear. However, the one thing you're going to want to pick up for sure is going to be Logia's Fisher's Clothes at least Pry or above, because these provide you that final 2 points of fishing reduction. So I have a Try one on because it was cheap. You could actually start at the Pry level because you can see down at the bottom there under item effect, right next to where my cursor is, you can see that it gives you fishing plus 2. So pretty cheap for 45 million if you just want to pre-order it. You can also get silver embroidered fisher's clothes at the +2 stage because they also provide you the +2 fishing buff plus 15% EXP in exchange for mastery. Really up to you at this point. We're just trying to maximize that fishing buff, so if you want to level up a little bit faster, go with silver embroidered. If you want a small chance at catching more expensive stuff, then go for the mastery stuff. Now at that point, you can pretty much go start AFK fishing and don't really need to worry too much about any of the other gear stuff I'm going to show you. But if you're looking to min-max this up, now we're going to get into the more crazy looking things that you can pick up. First things first is the artifact set. So the artifact set that you see right here is the Nibbles set. I chose to put it on life EXP plus 3%. You can put it on any one of the either life EXP or mastery different artifacts that you can pick up through various life skilling activities. For more information on these lightstones and artifacts and all that, I have a full-on guide about it linked in the description down below. But yeah, pick up a couple of life skill artifacts here, and we're going to slot in some stones. The first one is going to be an iridescent lightstone, which right now on NA is setting you back about 1 billion silver, so pretty expensive right there. The next lightstone that we're going to need is going to be the lungs lightstone, and this one's not too expensive, just a cheap little 5 mil. We then need the bite lightstone, which is also only 5 million silver on NA. And then we finally need the patience lightstone, and this one is a bit more expensive at 105 million silver. So all in all, to set up this artifact set, you're looking at another 1 billion silver. And the reason that we'd want to do this is because A, it gives us fishing EXP, it also gives us some more mastery, it gives us +1 to that fishing stat, so we could use even cheaper clothing if we wanted to. Not that it particularly matters, but also is good if you're not in a guild, because with the clothing plus this, you're also at that +3 bonus. So you still get the 40% even though you're not in a guild. But the biggest one there is that auto fishing time at -15%, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So 1 billion silver for that lightstone setup. Now the last item you're going to want to pick up for your AFK Fisher is going to be Shim Chung's Miraculous Fish Tank. This is a remnant from a previous event series here, which can still be accessed via a super secret little portal here in the Land of Morning Light. So new region, Land of Morning Light. Off to the side over here, you're going to see a To the Sea Palace swirling sea little thing that you can jump into. And when you jump in, it'll teleport you down to the Sea Palace. It should drop you off somewhere around here. From here, you're going to want to run up the little bridge thing right in front of you over here, and basically just follow the path my character's walking, because it's a pain in the butt to find this. But while I'm running over to this location, what this tank does is it allows you to hold an additional 50 fish in your inventory, and increases the amount of time it takes them to expire, so you'll make even more money overnight if you let it run for a little bit longer. So, pretty cool item that you definitely want to pick up for your AFK Fisher. This is the NPC that has the quest line right here, Dorio. So go ahead and interact with Dorio to pick up the quest line that you do for, I believe, 4 weeks. And at the end of the 4 weeks, you can exchange for the fish tank. Alright, so now we got all the gear. We got the balanced fishing rod, maple float, we got our nibble set up, we got the little fish pot here to hold more fishies. Got some clothes, got some mastery, ready to go fishing, but you don't know where to go. Well, I'll tell you where not to go, wherever this frickin' video told you to go, because this is hot garbage. Use the website bdofish.com. It's linked down below, and this website has the fishing tables for pretty much every region in the game. It has not been updated for the newer regions out here, nor has it been updated with the Land of Morning Light update, so this is still the old region out here. But if you click on any one of these different locations, you can see the drop tables for all of the fish in that little region of water. Pretty sick. If we zoom on down in here to Valia, you can see why this video recommended like 3 years ago to go fish there, because it has some rare fish in it. But also, fishing is impacted by how many people are actually fishing at the spot, which means the more people there, the less money you make. For that reason, I'm going to recommend you go around on this map and find your own spot that has good fish in the drop table, such as like over here in Altanova, has the same exact drop table, but there won't be anybody fishing over here, so you'll make more money if you set up in Altanova. Altanova's not the best spot. I would definitely thumb through this map, check some different regions, and see where you want to set up. However, I will make a couple of recommendations. First one that everybody loves to recommend is going to be Tooth Fairy Cabin out here. So the Tooth Fairy Cabin located in the Camasilvia region, right here, Tooth Fairy Cabin. Excellent spot for ancient relic crystal farming, so you'll make extra money from it. Another spot that actually just came out, we have the Land of Morning Light. So the Land of Morning Light has an incredibly rare crystal in its drop table that's worth hundreds of millions of silver, and if you get it, it'll pretty much be worth it for the entire night for you. Now it's a low drop rate, but if you're willing to take the odds here, you can pick up some extra money out there at the Land of Morning Light. Final one of interest that has some different mechanics to it is the Isleton region. The fish in the Isleton region last 3 times as long as any other region, so if you're like setting up for AFK fishing for like a night or two, and you don't plan on playing the game, or you're stepping away for a while and you don't want your fish to expire, could be a potential location to try as well for your AFK fishing. Again, I'd recommend using the BDO Fish website and picking out your own spot. So now let's get into the actual mechanics of fishing here. First things first, you're going to want to equip all of the gear that you have. So again, your fisher's clothes, Life skill accessories, make sure the artifact set is selected, select your float, and select your fishing rod, not your sniper rifle, your fishing rod. You'll be greeted with this little UI right here that tells you a couple of things. First things first is the fishing resources level. Abundant is where you want to be. Anything below abundant kinda sucks, so try to find a different spot or swap servers or try and get that label up to the abundant category. Do note that during event periods, if you click this little icon here, it'll tell you where to go to make more money from AFK fishing. So for example, right now is the season server little event thing where you can make money off of AFK fishing by exchanging for like Kaposh accessories or stuff like that. Got a video guide on that too. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to show you setting up generically how to AFK fish. Now, the next thing you're going to want to interact with is this do not board other adventurers' ships. Just always check that. Don't even think about it. Just make sure you check it. Make sure it's checked. Below that now, you will see a little fishing icon situation here of what fish you will discard. Depending on your character's inventory, you'll probably want to discard everything blue and below. If you have a lot of inventory space and don't plan to AFK fish for a long time, you might be able to get away with just discarding green and below. Obviously, higher grade fish sell for more money, so you want to make sure your inventory is filling up with the highest valued stuff instead of everything. To begin the AFK fishing process, all you're going to do is press the spacebar on this keyboard here, and then walk away. You're done. And you're AFK fishing at this point. So a bit on the mechanics here at play. If you look at your character's player menu here again, we have the fishing stat, where you have a reduction in fishing time. This is the amount of time until you get a bite. This is reduced all the way up to 50%, which is also impacted by the level of the fishing resource here. So maximizing your fishing stat plus fishing at a high rate here means you're going to be getting bites a lot faster than if you were fishing in other locations. Now the next phase begins when this little icon pops up on the screen, at which point you would play the minigame if you wanted to fish normally, but since we're AFK, we are going to be doing the auto fishing time reduction buffs here. So on our fishing rod, we can see that it gives us a reduction of 25% to auto fishing time. The nibble set that we equipped gives us 15%, which takes it down to a 40% reduction in time. And then we can get the last couple of percents we need from a couple of different ways. The first option is through having a pet with the special auto fishing time reduction trait. These can be purchased off the cash shop, or sometimes they're given away from events. It scales from 10 to 30% depending on the tier of your pet. So for me, I have a tier 4 pet, which is giving me a 30% reduction in auto fishing time. The auto fishing time reduction is hard capped at 66.666666%. It starts at 3 minutes and cannot go below 1 minute to catch a fish. So if you have a tier 3 pet, as well as the life artifact set, as well as the fishing rod, you'll be at 65%, which is pretty darn close. And then obviously a tier 4 pet puts it over the top. Now, if you don't want to spend money on pets, you can also buy the Balix lunchbox, which is available either the central market, or you can craft it yourself through cooking. This item here, the Marvelous one, lasts for 10 hours and reduces the time by 10%, or the little mini one here lasts for an hour and a half and reduces it by 7%. So not quite as good as a pet, but it'll get you a little bit closer to that minimum time for fishing. So let's pretend you've been AFK fishing for an entire night and you're ready to sell your fish. What do you do to make money? You're going to want to find an Imperial fishing vendor. So type in Imperial Fish or Imperial F, and you will see all the different Imperial fishing deliveries that you can go to. The one here in Isleton is right over here to the left across from this bridge. So we'll go over to his and interact with that NPC. If you talk with them, Imperial Fishing Delivery, you'll be able to sell the fish at a 250% multiplier to their value. So pretty slick, easy money, especially if you don't have any trading skill stuff leveled up. Now, there are some fish that you cannot sell to these vendors here, and you'll need to sell to the trade vendors. So when you go to a trade manager, if you just interact with them, click on the trade option, you should also be able to sell that fish. You can see that selling it to the trade vendor here in the Isleton region is going to net me significantly less money. However, if you're significantly advanced in the trading life skill, you can use the bargain game to make more money, or you could trade these across long distances to make even more money if you want to like set up your character to AFK run to like a different city or something in between sessions here. So yeah, 9 out of 10 times, just go ahead and sell over at the Imperial Fishing Delivery. But if you got like a super expensive fish or one that won't get sold at the Imperial Fishing vendor, you have to use a trade vendor. And then with that, guys, we have pretty much covered everything you need to know to get into AFK fishing and start making money. Like I said, you're going to make about 10 million silverish an hour overnight when you set up like this. So it's not world-breaking money, but at the cost of about 1 billion silver, it means you'll pay it off in about 100 hours of AFK fishing, which is like, what, 2 weeks if you just let it run overnight? So not a bad investment to just continually make that money forever going forward. Now, if this video did help you, let me know in the comment section down below. And again, thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you at the next YouTube video, the next Twitch livestream, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.